We are back. Today's the day. We're getting the TE37's on the Mark II, no matter what it takes. I realized last night that I don't have any lug nuts for the car, so I'm gonna go to the parts store and buy some cheap ones for now until I can get something a little bit more fitting to the styling of the car. Hopefully the coilovers aren't seized or anything and we can still lower it all down up front. I know Anthony raised the front, so the front should be good. As far as the rears go, I'm a little uncertain, so hopefully there's no seizing. The current coilovers will eventually be swapped out, but that's for a later date. Back secured. Good old white nights, baby. I got one wheel off and I found a couple of interesting things that I figured I'd show you guys. So for starters, it has a really weird spacer on it. So I'll have to figure out, I'm sure that this is some type of key, so I'll have to figure out how to get these off one way or another. And then, no surprise, but the car definitely had wheels on it. It's probably why the spacer was on, to clear this area. The coilovers are okay, but like the preload was definitely incorrect because the spring is loose. So could be part of the reason why it's been feeling rough. Wheel is on. It did camber in quite a bit more than I was expecting, but it is poking rather aggressively. It does look sick from like the side profile. Needs a little more low. The coilovers will probably settle some. I threw the stock wheel back on the front up there, and you can see from this angle though that it's just like poking out pretty heavily. After setting the car down, the wheels are close. So I don't think it's like order new wheels situation, but more so get the serial 9 arms in. I've been talking to him about this build anyway, so probably try to send it on those and just add some camber in the rear. I think the front's gonna be okay after talking to one of my Mark II homies. So I think I'm gonna get rear arms on the way, upper control arms, and then I'll probably just go ahead and do the uppers up front too while we're there, just so I have more adjustability. So that'll be the next step for suspension and wheels for now, and that way I can run my other sets of wheels as planned. Good news, guys, I found the key to that spacer, so I'm gonna pull the spacer and then I should be able to fit up the front wheels, and it's looking promising for the plus 12, which is sick. On stock arms, I just pushed the toe out to get some camber up top. So I'll be able to run like multiple sets of wheels now, which is pretty exciting. Up front, I'll need to probably order an upper control arm still, but I think we'll get them fitted for now. Definitely need to lower the car some more, and removing the spacer didn't help quite much. Upper arms for sure, but I'm gonna lower it and see if it naturally cambers in. I might be able to get some camber out of it. This came out decent. I'm gonna lower this and hopefully it naturally cambers in a little bit more. I dropped it about an inch, maybe like an inch and a quarter, and I fixed the preload. I'm merely guessing on the preload, but it's definitely going to be better than it was. Of course, the car didn't come with spanner inches, so this is about half of what I have. So it only took a couple of these to make it work. still needs quite a bit more low, and definitely probably gonna need some camber. I mean, it might camber in, I might get lucky, and I might mess with the tow arms to try to get some camber, try to push the bottom of the wheel out and the top in, but we'll see. That may or may not work on this chassis. I dropped it another inch or so. It's getting close to being like decent. I think I will be able to achieve some camber here with one of the traction arms down here and tow arms, but probably a job for another day with the sun going down. And I'd like to get a little more, I'm gonna try to get a little more camber out of the rear and lower this as well. And if I could get it dropped like another inch all around and kind of hide like the top part of this tire line, I'd be super happy with it. But yeah, this looks pretty fire. It's cool. It's gonna look a little bit better in my eyes. If you made it this far, thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind dropping a comment, liking, and subscribing, it means a ton to me. It really helps out the channel. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you in the next one.